Have you ever walked into your office or clicked into Zoom, only to find out that you with mismatched socks and a barely functioning coffee habit, just got promoted over your coworker who practically breathes quarterly metrics and recites company policy like bedtime stories? You blink, your brain glitches, you check your inbox twice. Is this real? Or did your cat accidentally send a resume and snag that title for you? Welcome to the modern workplace, the land of awkward congratulations, suppressed guilt, and the looming question: should I say something, or just smile and nod and hope nobody notices I'm wildly underqualified? This moral migraine isn't just a quirky TV sitcom premise. It's an increasingly common workplace dilemma. And if you're living it right now, you are not alone. So grab your coffee or wine, I don't judge, because we're about to unpack this promotion paradox with some humor, a little heat, and a whole lot of honesty. Let's start with the hard truth. Promotions are not always about merit. Shocking, right? In a world where we like to believe hard work pays off and the cream rises to the top, the reality is far murkier. According to research from MIT Sloan, women, despite often outperforming their male counterparts in objective performance reviews, still receive lower scores on potential and are 14% less likely to be promoted. That's right. You can crush deadlines, lead projects, and do all the emotional labor of your team's group chat, but still get the short end of the career ladder. It gets worse. Harvard's Kennedy School found that black women are promoted 26% less frequently than their white peers and are 32% more likely to leave within 2 years, often due to being overlooked or undervalued. Intersectional bias, or as I like to call it, the corporate double whammy, is a beast. You're not just navigating gender or race bias, you are surfing both simultaneously while blindfolded and holding a coffee cup that says "Best Team Player." And don't get me started on the infamous bamboo seal, which affects many Asian professionals. Despite high representation in entry-level roles, they are significantly underrepresented in leadership positions. They're recruited, celebrated for their work ethic, and then quietly passed over for leadership roles in favor of someone who once went to golf with the CEO's college roommate. What's fueling all of this, you ask? Meet affinity bias, our brain's deeply lazy habit of favoring people who look, sound, or think like us. If your boss connects more with Mike because Mike reminds him of his younger self, then guess who's getting the bigger office? Certainly not Priya, who has 15 glowing project evaluations and actual solutions to ongoing team issues. And don't forget the Queen Bee syndrome, where some women in leadership resist promoting other women, fearing there's only room for one lady at the top. There's not. There's plenty of room, we just need a few more chairs. Now picture this, you get promoted. You didn't lobby for it, but it's yours. And while you're tentatively celebrating with a gluten-free cupcake, you glance across the room and see your coworker, let's call her Jane, who's clearly more qualified, staring at her screen with that dazed "did they just skip me" expression. What do? Smile awkwardly? Shrink into your ergonomic chair? Or do you say something? First, let's talk about what happens if you speak up. You could be viewed as ungrateful or even disloyal. In many corporate cultures, questioning leadership decisions is akin to poking a bear with a stapler. It rarely ends well. You might be seen as the bleeding heart rebel, or worse, someone trying to derail the company's grand succession plan, which, let's be honest, may have been drawn on a napkin during happy hour. But silence has its own risks. It can feel like complicity, especially if you genuinely believe your coworker was passed over unfairly. You may suffer from promotion guilt or imposter syndrome, both of which are like mental malware that quietly eats away at your confidence. Worse, your team's morale might plummet. Jay might withdraw, collaboration could take a hit, and people may start whispering in Slack channels named things like #SauthajustHappened. So should you speak up? If you choose to, it's crucial to do it strategically. Don't burst into your manager's office like a medieval knight demanding justice. Instead, approach with curiosity. Ask to understand the decision-making process. Express admiration for your colleague's work and suggest opportunities for her development. Frame it as a question of team growth, not a personal indictment. When done thoughtfully, speaking up can position you as a leader, someone who isn't just climbing the ladder, but pulling others up behind them. And if you decide to stay quiet, that's valid too. You can still make a difference. Behind the scenes, you can mentor your overlooked colleague, champion their work in meetings, and ensure they get credit where credit's due. You can use your new position to open doors for others, because leadership isn't about titles, it's about impact. Quiet influence is just as powerful as vocal advocacy, especially when wielded with integrity. Still, individual choices can only go so far. To really fix this mess, we need systemic change. Promotion criteria should be transparent and standardized. No more vague phrases like "she's just not leadership material." What does that even mean? Did she not bring muffins to the team retreat? We need rubrics that define success and remove ambiguity. Diverse panels should be involved in promotion decisions because one perspective will always be biased, no matter how well-intentioned. Organizations also need to replace buzzword-heavy diversity programs with actionable mentorship and sponsorship initiatives. Studies show that targeted mentoring, especially across race, gender, and department lines, is far more effective than unconscious bias training alone. And let's not forget metrics. Track who's being promoted, who's not, and why. Shine a light on the patterns hiding in HR databases like digital ghosts of unfairness past. Let's bring this to life with a little workplace theater. Picture this: you're in your promotion meeting. Your boss congratulates you, and you say something like, "Thanks, I'm excited to contribute more to the team." But inside your brain is yelling, "What in the corporate Hogwarts just happened?" Later, you see Jane in the hallway. You pause. Then you say, "Hey, that presentation you gave last week was amazing. Would you want to co-present with me next time?" Boom. Connection made. Confidence sparked. You're already using your new title for good. Maybe the next day, you pull your manager aside and say, "I was wondering, what's the roadmap for future growth on the team? Jane's been such a rock star. I'd love to see what's next for her." You're not accusing, you're advocating. That's leadership. That's courage. If you're really ambitious, you suggest a team session to outline growth paths, propose an anonymous feedback system, or even ask HR to audit promotion patterns. You become the rare unicorn who not only gets promoted but also makes promotions fairer for everyone else. And don't forget the power of humor. Use it to disarm tension, call out absurdity, and remind everyone that we're all just trying to make it through the day without crying in a conference room. You can joke, "Guess I owe my promotion to that time I fixed the printer and saved the It Guy's weekend," or "I mean my cat's resume would come in handy." Laughter builds bridges. So does empathy. So does sharing your story. So should you speak up or stay quiet? Only you can answer that. It depends on your workplace culture, your relationship with leadership, and your own comfort level. But whatever you choose, do it consciously. Because being promoted over someone more qualified doesn't make you the villain. It makes you the protagonist of a complex, nuanced workplace drama. One where your next steps could shape not just your future, but your coworkers, your teams, and maybe even your company's culture. In the end, the title on your email signature matters far less than the legacy you leave behind. Will you hoard your new power like a dragon guarding corporate treasure? Or will you use it to light the way for others? Because promotions come and go, but integrity? That's a promotion you give yourself. All right, friends, that's it for today's corporate roller coaster ride. Getting promoted over someone way more qualified than you. Should you speak up, stay quiet, or just buy that coworker a coffee and hope they don't key your car? We covered it all. If you laughed, learned, or at least didn't fall asleep mid-video, do me a favor, smash that like and hit subscribe. Until next time, stay smart, stay kind, and if you're ever in doubt, promote fairness, not just people. See ya!